Hi, my name is Santiago, and here we are with my friend Kalia, and we wanted to have a conversation about a very important theme that is the 8M and 9M. These 2 days is very important for women because it represents like all this stuff that happens with women in Mexico and the terrifying things that women have uh, to live through, and women and men, these 2 days affect them in two different ways because for women they don't have to go to school. They in these 2 days the woman they have to like disappear from the world, so men they have like an idea like how it's like live without woman in one day. So yes, for me, I have experienced two of these days, and for me, it's like very strange that I I have not the opportunity to like see my like girls in my school, and the teachers they didn't they don't have to come to school also, so this is a very strange thing.
Hi, I'm Kalia. So, 8 and 9 of March are several important days for women and also for men because they have to understand the situation, but at the same time that I think that are sad days because at the end of the day they represent suffering in women, and it's something sad. But just as I have said, is it's a lot of it have a lot of importance because it's our opportunity as women to change the world or to change like many conducts and yeah. And about 9M, I don't think it's more important that 8M, but I think that it shows more to men and to everyone the importance that women have in the world, or at least in the country, because a lot of women are working right now, and if we don't do our stuff like every day, the world or at least the country will be a lot different than if we worked.
So these 2 days are have a lot of history because in around the world uh, before these 2 days exist, and in the epoch of my grandma, they cannot vote, they cannot do things like a man can do. So all these women fight against like the system to improve that women can also do important things like uh, man can do. So thanks to this generation of women, today have a lot of can do a lot of things that in the past doesn't can do.
So, about the message that these days give to men, I think the important one is like maybe not to protect us, but not to attack us. And to know the importance that women have in the country and in the world. I mean, a lot of men continue thinking that women are not that important or maybe shouldn't have to work and that stuff, but that with these days it's when men find out that there also is a certain importance to women about work and how much we are useful in the society and just as men, and to know also that I mean it shows to everyone what is really happening and why women are dying and are suffering for a lot of violence. And yeah.
In my opinion, these 2 days are important to women and to a very special minority that is trans people, because in these days women and trans people can improve their rights and can raise their voice to society, like women and trans people, they have been through a lot of problems through history, because they have been like ¿cómo se apartó? Like a part in history, because all the time trans people have been seen like different, and they have been denigrated by men and women too. So they, in these 2 days, they can feel like free, like they can go outside in the streets and nobody can feel they cannot feel bad about the commentaries about the people.
And talking about if trans people can also take part in these days, I think they can. I mean, if you're born as man and then you turn into women and you feel like a woman and you do stuff like women and you want you to people to treat you like, so I think you also are a woman, sorry. So you can take part in these days because at the end of the day you are, just as I said, a woman, because you decide to become that and you now have to do this stuff. And it's not just like you can just take like the cool part of being a woman. You also have to take like the risks and all the stuff that are around being a woman, sorry. So that's my opinion about if a trans can take part in these days. And about if a man can be part of these dates, I'm not really, I don't really have like much information, and I've never like searched about this. But in my opinion, I think maybe a man don't have to do the same stuff that women do in these days, but I think it can form part of it because at the end of the day it's trying to help and I don't know if this is possible, but in my opinion, I think that a man can also be a feminist, and yes, like in different ways, but it can be feminist. So, in conclusion, these days now are an important part of our culture around the world, and we have to know the importance that women have. Um, I think we have to continue with this because sometimes, I mean, even the women um, are like feminists on that day, and they forgot about the year, about what rest of the year, and that's why I think that it's a day that shouldn't be eradicated of the calendar. And about men and feminist men, just as I said, they can form part, and they should form a part of feminism. And about trans, they should, just as women, take a big part on it, because they just don't have to play like the cool game of being a woman, also the bad part of it. So in the first video, it shows and it talks about manifestations, women, and it shows a lot of girls like walking on the streets, and even little girls. I mean, it also shows like girls about 8 to 10 years old, or maybe less. And it talks about the main point, the main reason about why we have like to get to this point. And it talks about the reasons, it talks about what have happened to women, and also there is a woman who talks about her opinion about manifestations and what she think about it. And on my experience, I have never experienced being in a manifestation, but maybe it's something that I would like to. Maybe this year I will go to one, and to show respect and also to support women that it's difficult to them because they had to get to that point, and that's my opinion.
Okay, in the second video, they talking about why women are paid less than men in works in generally, and this is a huge problem because in history, women have been affected like in salaries because the in the companies they don't think that a woman can be paid much or at the same as a man, because they don't think that a woman can do the same work as good as a man. So for me, if I were a woman, I will be very angry because if I do the same work as a man, I would like to have the same salaries as a man.